Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have another pretty much a suggestion thread which has a lot of different suggestions. This was given to me by somebody in my Discord, so thanks to you. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We're gonna read through it. I'm gonna give my opinion of it and all of that. I'm gonna link this down below as well if you want to go check it out for yourself. It is a lot. I'm gonna try to keep this video short, so I'll probably read some of this, and if I know if I'm getting the overall general idea of it, I'm gonna kind of, you know what I mean, move it along. But yeah, we're gonna go and see what it all is about. So let's do it. So yet another massive post about mod/vanilla ideas. Okay, it seems to be a common occurrence that people write an essay on their request for the game. So here I am, having written an essay on my request for the game. Quite the essay, my guy. I'll be honest with you. Quick disclaimer, I love this game. I fully support the devs, and many of these points are a message to modders rather than the developers, as some of these may deviate from the game's core values/style. This isn't a criticism by any means, just a list of ideas that I've been noting down since release. I've got nearly 500 hours in this game, and I'm a firm believer in, was that €1 equals 1 hour of gameplay. Other currencies are available, but for real, it's like 4,000 words long. I put less effort into some of my university projects, so would appreciate feedback from anyone and everyone. Alrighty, let me get a sip of my drink. Alright, let's do it. So, changes to AI. Relationship per individual. There should be two types of relationship meters, one representing the clan and one representing the individual. Basically, you should be able to have different relationships between each individual noble, even if they are in the same clan. You will build/diminish your relationship with each individual the same way you would any, assuming we finally see relationship changes from fighting battles with lords. However, that changes relationship would apply to individuals in question rather than the clans as a whole. Alright, so check this out. This would still affect some. This would still have some effect on family relationships, though. Okay, so check this out. So currently, as far as I know, AI clans can't get companions. You know, you don't really see companions on that. You only see like clans or families, pretty much. You know, so in a way, okay, I don't know how to word this perfectly, but okay, so this would work where a relationship per individual. This would work if the clans weren't just all family. If the clans had some companions, then yes, apart from the family, the companions could have their different, you know, individual relationships, and also the ones they follow with the clan, because they're kind of like, you know, a part of that clan. But I feel like, you know, if you do something wrong to one part of somebody's family, it is what it is. They're all going to feel the same way about you. But I think if they added a way for enemy AI clans to actually get companions, and those companions actually run parties, I feel like this would make sense, where you could have relationships for the individuals and also relationships for the clan. That kind of makes sense. All right, next one. Visible relationships versus hidden relationships. Building upon the last idea, there should be visible and secret relationships. This is just a rough idea. Okay, so kind of you can have kind of like betrayals, assassinations, and stuff like that. If, like, let's say you have a hidden relationship with a very close lord to your enemy, then, you know, he can pull some strings, right? Yeah. So they are working on alliances and like the whole marriage system and rebellions and stuff like that in general. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. This might be a thing. I don't think it will. I think that if you're looking for very, like, how can I explain this? So, kind of like how the devs wanted Bannerlord to be, was going to be like a fast-paced action game with RPG elements, right? Like, they wanted that kind of, like, you know, and the sandbox element, of course. I think that you would find this kind of like, you know, a Crusader Kings game, right? Because they really focus on, you know, how relationships work more than just how the fighting aspect works. While Bannerlord has to do a lot more with, you know, wars and fighting and all of that. But I do agree with this. Wars and feuds between lords. I think this would work particularly with Vlandia, a Norman-inspired faction whose king Dorthart is said to have spent most of his time putting down petty squabbles. Yes, we have talked about this in other videos as well, where, you know, there can be feuds between clans, and clans can, you know, they obviously can't take over their own feasts, but they can like raid their villages, annoy their caravans, and all of that. We're gonna see how, if this will be implemented in a form of way when when rebellions do come out. We'll see how that works. We have talked about this. Organized rebellion with other lords. Yep, we talked about this as well. You should be able to secretly conspire with other yeah, we have talked about this, where you obviously, here goes the secret relationships that you can have with people. You you know, you make a coup or a plan, and you know, you organize a rebellion. Again, we're gonna see how the rebellions are when they do come out. Are they simple? Or are they kind of, you know, more, you know, are there other things that can cause a rebellion and stuff of that nature, right? People remember battles and create songs. 2 small immersive additions to the game. Don't know if it would really come under AI, but oh well. NPCs remembering, naming large, or more importantly, significant campaign changing battles would make a dynamic. This is in the game. This is in the game already. So in one of our recent patches, if you go to a town and you talk to NPCs, maybe they don't give you very, very decisive things like battles, right? But they do state if they are getting pushed back by a different kingdom. They do state when if one kingdom is raiding too much, they're gonna say that they were very devastating our village front. They do talk about stuff that does happen around the world now. The concept of it is relatively simple, however in practice I could imagine it could prove difficult. The game would decide in a way whether or not a battle is important. How many? I think it would have to do with how many casualties and how many people were in the battle, or how many different lords were in the battle. The names part coming in the battle. Most battles are named after their location. Yeah, so we don't have one for battles, but we have one for, like, you know, conflicts going around in the world, right? Even more ambitious would be to have all the lines of dialogue recorded, so each possible variation of the song could be played. Oh, so this is the song one. Okay, so where's the song start? Now comes the idea of having songs attached to them. This would work by having a set of pre-written songs, each culture having several. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't think this is gonna happen unless you have a very ambitious modder team that has, like, a, you know, a vocalist in it. I don't think the developers are gonna go out there and get people to actually sing, but good idea. But I don't know about this one. True evil NPCs. I want to see some truly sadistic evil B-words, some Rams and Bolts and Emperor Nero type characters. This could be predetermined in some characters at the start of the game, but most monsters are created. I like to see NPCs develop character traits based on their experiences, especially in their earlier life. See, I feel like I'm the bearer of bad news, but I kind of just want to keep it honest and real. I think that for Bannerlord, the characters are what they are, and they kind of stay that same way. They don't really have, like, what would you call it? Like a background arc where they kind of like build. They started off as a good character, then they move to a bad character. They're kind of, you know, symbolized characters where they're just, you know, they're this character and they're going to stay that character throughout the game, if that kind of makes sense. Yes, they do change sides when it comes to kingdoms, but that's kind of random, and it's like, you never really hear the reason for it. It's just, you know. Another game that comes to mind when you mention this is, like I said before, Crusader Kings. Any of them really, 2, 3, or the first one, where this does happen, you know. Torture. With there being evil NPCs, there should be a way to exercise their sadistic nature and give noble, both friends and foe, the reason to fear them. Torture would become an option once you capture a noble. There may be several options that led to different outcomes. It may be a way to reveal sensitive information about the enemy war plans, or find incriminating, embarrassing gossip about the nobles. Again, this would be great, but the whole, you know, like the future enemy war plans. So how the AI works is it doesn't really, you know, think like 3-4 years in advance. It kind of makes the decisions of this and that. If they get into a war, then they make those type of decisions, and it goes from there, right? I'm unless I'm wrong, unless the developers have like this like code all the way in the back where like the enemies have specific plans or specific goals they want to meet in a couple years down the line. I feel like, you know, a lot more stuff would have to be added before this is added, right? Maybe you could torture somebody into you know, leaving their kingdom or giving their fief to you or something like that. That could work too. Torture could end up reducing skill points and removing perks from certain trees. Ooh, that's an interesting concept, actually. Or could make someone infertile. That's wild. Okay, no, I understand. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. That makes sense. Torture could massively damage your honor, relationship with other nobles. However, different factions will have different opinions of it. Okay. Alrighty. Makes sense. Yeah, okay. In a way, yeah. People treat you based on policy. Pretty simple, really. People should speak on you in different manner based on what kind of leader you are. If you introduce sacred magistry, people should treat you in a god-appointed monarch. Oh, okay, yeah, so how NPCs treat you, you know, how kind of like their body languages and stuff. Makes sense. That's probably a good mod to make. Different leaderships per kingdom. Again, something that's more mentioned in the past. Just want to reiterate it though. Factions should all be the same with different skins. But no, factions shouldn't. Sorry about that. Factions shouldn't all be the same with different skins. There should be a complex level of structural hierarchy for each faction based on their culture that they are trying to mirror. This is actually, the developers have talked about this, and they are stating that they do need to be more different than they are the same. I think one of the reasons that a lot of them seem the same is, I forget exactly what patch it was. I think it was probably a couple months ago, probably 1.3, somewhere around there, where we received the change where what's called the AI lords can now recruit from neutral villages as well. Before that patch, they can only recruit from their own what would you call it? Their own kingdom. And it wasn't viable because obviously if they start running out of places, like out of settlements, they're going to run out of villages and they can't get any more troops. That's why it was added where they can, you know, mix their troops with neutral villages. It made sense, right? But in term of like the long effect of that is now they all look kind of very similar because they can have troops from pretty much any other kingdom. But I do agree. With that, policy should be a matter of changing numbers, but a significant overhaul to a faction. Senate especially needs to be a significant change of faction. An actual scene where you can attend a Senate house and vote for subjects. Centers aren't just AI nobles either, but significant landlords and merchants of each town / castle. But again, others have promised detailed ideas on this previously. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. If someone wants, I'm pretty sure this won't be in the game, but if someone wants to really make a really good mod, is I would go into every kingdom, obviously look at their historical counterpart and see what type of policies they have, and then if you can make this a mod, right, make it so each kingdom has its own set of policies. Yes, some policies will be kept the same. Like a lot of the kingdoms will share some policies, but there should also be a lot of different policies out there that only specific kingdoms can get, right? Like I don't think the Khazaits and the Vlandians should have the same policies, you know, across the board. I feel like they should have some different opinions, if that kind of makes sense, right? Now we got AI / campaign. So I think I'm going to do this one and then probably make a part 2 for the rest of this because I don't want to make this video too long for you guys. So AI / campaign, Battanian overhaul. So branching off on factions, I feel Battanian needs a complete overhaul. I know snowballing has been a persistent problem in the game, and Tailwoods has done a lot to curb, but it's still not fully fixed, which again is fine because I know it's one of their priorities. However, I have experienced Battanian snowballing every now and then. In my opinion, I think that out of all the factions, they should receive the most significant overhaul. They're essentially a late Celtic or Celtic faction based off the Welsh. Now the Welsh could and did build a hell of a lot of castles and very formidable ones at that. And if ever go, it's worth visiting a few. Huh. If that is true, then it's kind of bad because they literally have some of the worst castles. Yeah, all of their towns are occupied old imperial settlements, and they're built out of wood. Really, like most Britannian, settlements and that, they just don't look, that formidable. And if this is true, if they are based off that, then that's tough. All towns and castles, okay. When I initially saw the dev blob of Britannians, I thought about them as a true underdog of the game, but they're not. They should act like a loose confederation of petty clans who prioritize raiding over conquering. Their main goal should be to defend their land that they're so scared of losing. Looting and sacking of towns. Castles needs to be implemented. So, okay, they are doing this. The whole looting towns and castle, this is going to be made soon. This is in their list of priorities for single player and campaign changes. So that is going to be there soon-ish. I don't know when exactly, but it's on that list. They need to be a faction that can't support a large conquest, but are damn near impossible to invade, but more importantly, hard to subdue once you have conquered them. Look to my ambushes and roads section on how this can be fleshed out some more. Their land should be more roaming bands of raiders that aren't affiliated with the battalion faction, but only attack foreign invaders. Okay. Playing battalions, it should be possible to conquer, but it shouldn't be the most challenging faction to do so. Yeah, I'm guessing if you want to do the overhaul for this and make them kind of like this type of faction, I think we need to do an overhaul for a lot of other factions as well. Pretty much all the factions right now, they all play the same. And pretty much whoever gets a head start in the beginning will get some good dice rolls when it comes to sieges, kind of, wins. And obviously the Khazaits, they're always going to stay on the map or win, one or the other. So that's just kind of how it is right now. I do agree there should be some overhauls, but I think a lot of other kingdoms should be overhauled as well. But that being said, right, one thing the developers have said that I kind of agree on is, you could overhaul everybody this and that way, right? You could completely nerf down the Khazaits so they become kind of even with everybody else, or you could make the alliance system a thing. So if one kingdom gets way too ahead, like let's say the Khazaits get way too ahead, you can make an alliance with 3 other kingdoms and then take them down a notch, if that kind of makes sense, right? And I like the alliance option way better than just, nerfing the Khazaits or overhauling another kingdom. While I would like an overhaul and while I would like each kingdom to act differently, like it's stated here, right? The alliance system I think is more important as of right now. Get that done, and then we can talk about, giving a little bit more unique features to each kingdom, if that kind of makes sense. Imperial lore is not defecting to Britannia. Speak for itself, really. Always felt a bit lore breaking. Okay. Yeah, like small little stuff like this, yeah, it would be very cool if it was added, right? Like, there would be, like, set rules for specific things, right? Like, he'll never do that, or this person will never do this, and stuff like that. Unstable succession is something I'd love to see. It's a bit of a rarity of history that an heir ascends to the throne completely peaceful without at least one person claiming the crown belongs to someone else. This would work well with personal relations system that I mentioned at the start. So siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles within the same clan / in-lore clan should have all the personal relationships between each other. Imagine a civil war starting out with 2 siblings, as one believes they're the real heir and could work for both. Again, this will work well with good evil NPCs. Again, a game I really think about when you talk about this is Crusader Kings, and I don't know if it's going to be in the game. Obviously, this whole thread was made for modders, but this would be a hard one to do. But it depends. Like, if we look 8 years down the line in this game, there's going to be some very, very deep mods, and you know what I mean. So you never know. Bastards would work well with the previous idea. Not sure why you would choose to have an illegitimate child. What benefits it would have other than role-playing purposes. Can either choose to disown them or take them into the family. Okay, makes sense. And hold court. Something I'd like to see to help remove the repetitiveness of constant war and sieges. When you sit on your throne, the option to hold court should come up. If you choose to do so, then a line of notables, peasants, merchants will approach you to address you based on your rank. Okay, and in real time, tell you the problems. I like this. We talked about this as well. Very cool feature. Makes sense. It's happened in history, pretty much throughout all kingdoms everywhere. So I agree. That's gonna do it. We hit the 20-minute mark. I am gonna read the rest of this probably in part 2. Good ideas. Like I stated, I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news for some of them, but yeah, overall good to see. If you guys have anything like this and you want to share with me, or you found any other thread and you want me to talk about it, join the Discord, send me a link, all that, and I'll see if I can make it into a video, right? But yeah, like always, hopefully this was informative. Ask me any questions, concerns, and stay safe.